Yeah.
Hey everyone, college can be a whirlwind of emotions, right? From the excitement of newfound freedom to the stress of exams and figuring out your future path. But it's also a time for amazing experiences and self discovery. Today, we are chatting with Radhika Goyal, who is a graduate from LSR and is currently pursuing MA in Economics from Delhi School of Economics and is here to share her insights on how to make the most of your college experience. All right, so I think we can dive in and start with the questions. So, ma'am, can you please tell us a bit about yourself? You can introduce yourself and your educational journey, particularly from graduation from LSR.
All right. Firstly, thank you so much, Anjali, for having me on your podcast, and I hope we have a great discussion ahead. And hello to everybody who's listening. My name is Radhika, and I recently graduated from Lady Shriram College. I pursued a double major in economics and computers, and now I'm doing a master's in economics from the Delhi School of Economics. So, talking about my educational journey, in class 11 and 12, I had commerce, and like every commerce student, I had this big dream of getting into SRCC or LSR and doing an economics honors. And I could not do an honors, but I settled for a BA program in economics and computers. And our study program was very multidisciplinary. We had we were exposed to a lot of other subjects as well: history, philosophy, sociology, and that is um, it helped in an overall development in all of these fields that we were exposed to during our undergraduation. But I had always this knack for economics, and I'd always loved this subject, and it always interested me so much that it pushed me to eventually pursue a master's. So I planned to do a master's from India. I did coaching for a year, started in 2023, gave my exams in 24, and now I'll be doing a master's. And talking about my future plans, I do also plan to do a PhD in the subject, hopefully, if that ever
Wow,
happens. So, yeah,
great,
this is my education journey in short.
great, very nice. So, moving on to the next question, which is looking back at your college experience, what were some of the most valuable experiences you gained beyond academics?
All right. So, I remember when we had our orientation in our first year at LSR, one of our professors, Dr. Sushila Madan, she said that, in LSR, most of the learning happens beyond the classroom. And
Yeah,
that is something, exactly, that is something that I could not really understand at that moment, but I resonate with that statement very well now. And everything that I did, be it academics or societies, projects, um, helped me gain so much experience, helped me meet so many people that um, really made college a very wonderful place to be in. And talking about a few learnings that I might have gained in the past 3 years. First would be creating a good network of people. That is so important because
mm-hmm.
people are really what make up your personality and build you into
Absolutely.
a very different individual. And being at LSR, you're exposed to such wonderful, intelligent women who are so strong and have
Yeah,
such strong opinions that you automatically also start having and believing like that, and start talking like them. And it's very inspiring to do something like that. So building a great network was something I learned at LSR. Second, I was also involved in NSS, and I also eventually led the society in my last year. So leadership and effective teamwork is something that I've realized is very, very important to execute whatever you have planned efficiently. I had never led a team before. I had never been a part of a position of responsibility. So this was very, very new to me, and there were so many doubts and so many um, I had so much self doubt, but eventually I came out of it, and I removed that self restriction that I had placed on myself, that self rejection that I had for myself. So that is something college does to you. It really pushes you to do things that you never thought you would, and pushes you into places that you would have been scared. You would have been scared to be a part of a few years ago, but now you are there and you have
absolutely.
conquered them. So
Totally agree with you. Because I
absolutely.
never thought that I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm doing it. You can do a lot, I think.
Right. I mean, you just need to restrict the boundaries that you yourself place on yourself,
True,
and then
true,
the sky is the limit, I feel.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that is a few things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can move on to the next question, which is you had a leadership role as the president of NSS and led teams in various projects. So, how did this experience contribute to your personal as well as your professional development?
All right. So I remember when we first had our orientation for NSS when I was in my first year. The orientation was conducted by the then president, Shagundi, and I remember being absolutely magnified. Not magnified, that's not the right word, but kind of in awe of everything that was happening in that orientation. She was leading a huge team, managing 27 projects. And she was she was part of a cause that really helped make a difference. Small one, but a difference is a difference. And I realized that at that moment that I really want to be a part of this society, contribute and make change in whatever small way I can. So I became a part of NSS my first year, taught some really wonderful kids. And despite coming from their backgrounds, they are not as privileged as us. But in spite of that, they have so much to offer you and they have so much that they want to learn, which was really very inspiring. And my second year, I decided to eventually head the project as the project head. And that was a very different experience. It was more into the administrative side of things rather than teaching. So it opened a completely new worldview. I'd never led a team before. And this was my first experience heading a team of 30 people and ensuring that, they go to class on time and there's proper effective communication between the NSS team at college and the NGO that we had partnered with. So, managing 30 people seems like a very small thing, but for me, it was very, very new. I was in
No,
my
it's indeed a very big thing. It's not at all small.
yeah, but um, I was in my second year, and there were people from third year, so I was like, will they listen to me? And they might think of me as a junior and might not listen to me, but um, it was really nice. I had learned so much. Um, there were a lot of bumps along the way, but bumps are what make an experience more fulfilling, in my opinion. And in my third year, eventually, I applied to apply for the post of president, and I got that position. And it was very, very overwhelming. Trust you me, in the first few months, I had so much self doubt. Will I be able to do this? Will I be able to manage people? Will I be able to lead the projects? And I had a wonderful team um, at my disposal. They were very, very helpful. All the work was done so efficiently, and it is because of them that NSS was made into something so wholesome. And I will always cherish that. And I'll always be very, very grateful to NSS for really pushing me out of my comfort zone and throwing me into scenarios that really challenged me as an individual and challenged us as a team as well. So NSS will always be a part of me, and I hope I will always be a part of NSS as well. Yeah.
Okay, great, perfect. So you started Pieces of Us, which is super impressive. So can you please tell us, I mean, if you can break down the steps you took from identifying a need on campus to getting the word out and building a team to make Pieces of Us a reality?
All right. So Pieces of Us was started by me and one of my friend and another individual from SRCC. So me and my friend Anshu, both of us really had this vision of doing something in college and starting something of our own. We tried so many other things, 180-degree consulting, a TED Talk club, XYZ things, but nothing worked out because of administrative concerns. So we thought, why not do something small and well, it be something that we started on our own. So we realized, why not start Pieces of Us? And the main idea behind Pieces
Just
of Us.
a quick question. How did you come up with the name Pieces of Us?
So I'll talk about what it is and then how the name came
Sure,
into being. So
sure.
Pieces of Us was basically sharing stories of people who've done something exceptional and done something different at a very young stage in life, but people don't really know about them. They do not really have a platform to share their stories. And I remember we used to contact people from all across the country, students, young students who've done something. For example, we had this guy from Kashmir who started an oxygen supply line, oxygen cylinder supply line during the second wave of COVID, which is extremely inspiring. And we also cover people who are living with certain disabilities and adjusting into society where there's so much judgment and so much um judgment from people all around. So we realize that all of these people like, so different, they've done something so exceptional for us, and us and are a part of us. So that's how pieces of us came into being, and that is how the name also came into being. So it's like a puzzle. I kind of think of the name as a puzzle. Different people from all across the country who've done something different, but their common motivation and common goal of doing something good for society is what joins them together and completes the puzzle. So that's how I think of the name.
All right. Okay.
So that was Pieces of Us, and that was the main idea. We created a small team of people from different colleges of DU only, and we had a social media team, a content writing team, marketing team, outreach team with certain volunteers under them, and we used to reach out to people, create random videos, and post stories. So that is how it came into existence.
Nice, nice. That's really great, honestly. So
Thank
I
you.
think juggling between academics and a vibrant extracurricular life can be challenging. So could you please suggest any time management strategies for
All
people
right.
not in college?
Okay. So talking about time management, it is the big question. How do you really manage your time? Because you're always going to be occupied with so much work and there'll be so much at your plate. So time management is very important. I'm not someone who's very good at it, to be very, very honest. There are days where I'm constantly overwhelmed with the kind of work I have, and there are certain days where I'm like, "Quick, need some, give me something to do." So on days when I'm overwhelmed, or there's a lot of things to do, I am someone who believes in weekly planning. I'm not a daily planner. I can never stick to daily plans. If I make a daily plan, I will most likely not stick to it. So I make weekly plans. I decide what I want to do for the entire week and just plan out my work through the entire week. Some days are hectic, some days I complete a lot of work, some days are chill, I don't do a lot of work. So that's how I plan my week. And I try to fit in certain small administrative tasks on the metro maybe because I have a long metro travel time of 2 hours. So I try to do certain administrative tasks that I might not have the time to do at home and I complete them on the metro. And third, basically the most important is prioritizing. Some days you'll have a lot of work. For some society, for example, I was juggling between NSS and my coaching during my third year. So during annual events of NSS, of course, I devoted more time to NSS and focused less on my coaching. On my exam days, there was coaching that was preferred over NSS. So you have to prioritize, see what's important at the moment, and also be surrounded by people who constantly help you out. Because I think having an emotional back support is very, very important when you have so much to do because if there are people to help you out, it just becomes easier to do things, in my opinion. So yeah, these are a few things I did to sort of manage my time.
All right, great. So many students struggle with navigating college societies and building professional network, which is pretty popular these days. Please suggest some valuable tips or actively participate and connect with others in these settings.
All right, so forming connections is a huge part of society. Everybody it is a huge part of college life. When you
That
enter
is
college,
very true.
exactly when you enter college, the first thing people tell you is go on LinkedIn, create your profile, build connections, connect with people, and I think it is very, very important. Might sound very trivial, very repeated, but I think it really does help you eventually. For example, um, I knew that I wanted to get into Delhi School of Economics for my master's, so I connected with a lot of seniors. Um, in my third year of college at LSR, I asked them how is the admission process, what is the entrance test like, what coaching centers do you suggest, what books, etc., etc., what resource material, and now I have a strong base of seniors that I can, approach. Now that I'm actually at Delhi School of Economics, I have these seniors that I can approach and talk to them. And if I have any doubts, they're still there to solve those queries. I think forming connection is very, very important. And I realize if you have an interest in something, try reaching out to people who have similar interests because it really does help you to refine your knowledge as well. You learn from people, you give certain things to people. So it's a give and take process that you have with your connection. So it's very, very important, I will say. And the most important is don't be afraid to connect with people. People are, I feel, are not that scary. Everybody out there is just exploring, looking out for similar people who have same interest as you. So don't be afraid to reach out to people. The worst they can do is say no and not connect with you. So that's going to be completely fine. But do not self-reject yourself at any moment, and try building a community for yourself. Of people that you feel that will help in your development, personal as well as professional.
All right, great. All right, so moving on to the next question. So, what is your top piece of advice for undergraduate students who want to make the most of their experiences beyond academics?
All right. So my piece of advice would be when you enter college, just shed everything that you might have thought about yourself in school. In school you're very different. You think you might not be able to do something or you are better at something, so you should not try the other things. So shed all of those sort of apprehensions you have about yourself and go into college with a very clean and very new mindset that I'm at this place and I want to build a new personality for myself. If you like dancing, you've not taken any professional coaching or anything, go give trials for the dance society. Nobody's going to judge you, nobody knows you. If you like music, go and give auditions for the music society. Nobody's there to judge you, everybody's there to encourage you. So, if you want to make the most out of college, apart from academics, the first thing you have to do is remove all the self doubt that you might have. It's very difficult to remove it, but try to eliminate it as much as you can and push yourself to new limits. Try out everything that you were very scared to try out as a child. Because in college, everybody is, you must realize that everybody is the same as you. They're as nervous as you and they're as new to their environment as you. So everybody is trying to figure themselves out. It might seem very overwhelming. Some people are doing better than you and you might feel intimidated. But I think that is not the case. Somebody or the other might be doing better than you. So don't be overwhelmed by that. Don't be intimidated by that. Trust yourself, trust your capabilities, and just do whatever it is that you feel like. Because everything that you do, however trivial it might be, will add to your experience.
And trust the process and believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are almost at the end of the episode. And finally, to wrap up, what do you miss most about your time at LSR?
About LSR, if I could say everything, then yes, I miss everything about LSR. But my top memory would be I remember during our last few months at college, we had started this new tradition where we would just get iced tea, a sandwich, more than mojito from the back gate, sit in front of the Nescafe, we used to call it the cool spot, sit there and just talk and eat. That is such a cherished memory, and I still feel like going back to college and doing that. So that's one thing I really miss. Second thing would definitely be the people. The people are what made LSR what it is today. So I definitely miss the people. And third would be NSS. For me, college life was defined by NSS. So just the struggle that we had during our third year at NSS, the number of fests that we organize, the events, the chaos of it, I really, really miss that as well. So yeah, these are three things I really miss about LSR.
All right. But still, I think there are a lot of stuff that LSR taught that LSR must have taught you.
Definitely. I mean, I think I'm very indebted to LSR in a way. When I first entered college, I was like, "Meko yahan bilkul acha nahi laga. I would really not like this place." But now, when I'm out of it, there's not a day goes by when I don't think about LSR or this place or how meaningful my experience was in the past 3 years. So there is so much to learn from this place, and I would
True.
really recommend everybody to एक भी दिन just don't miss college for anything
Yeah,
else.
no.
Attend
It's
every day, even if you think it's a struggle. It is not. Trust you me. Once you're
yeah,
out of
yeah.
college, you will really miss it. So cherish
I
every day that you are
know.
there.
True, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we can end today's episode on this note. So we are
Mm.
at the end of this episode, guys, and I think we can wrap it up for today. So huge thanks to Radhika ma'am for joining us today and sharing her incredible college journey. Remember everyone, college is your time to explore, learn and grow. Don't be afraid to step out of comfort zone, participate in activities that spark your interests, and build those valuable skills that will propel you forward. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making the most of your college experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anjali, for having me on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.